we're a credit reference agency that's trying to help people understand credit worthiness. So, we don't manufacture PPE or develop vaccinations. So it might not be obvious how we're sort of able to support in this environment. COVID credit was a project dreamt up, as you say, by Simon Taylor at 11FS, or at least it was his fault that this kind of unwound in the way it did. He sort of commenting on the lack of adequate remedies for self-employed or freelance workers, put out a tweet saying, I think we could fix this with FinTech, and then Fronted, one of our clients, sort of quickly chimed in and said, we could build this in a weekend, and before we knew it, that's what we were doing a couple of weeks ago. And this was, I should say, prior to the announcement by Rishi Sunak of any further measures that were sort of targeted at the self-employed. So we had the hypothesis that one of the real challenges that in sort of providing proportionate help to those people, and a little bit similar to sort of what Nigel was picking up on just there, is that there's a high instance of fraud, and it's very difficult to understand the different circumstances of individuals and how they've been affected, and make sure you can validate that and at scale and at the speed that we need to deliver the money to make a real difference. And we saw open banking as being a massive enabler to being able to solve that problem, and so set about building a tool that could demonstrate that capability. And very simply, we were allowing individuals to contribute their basic tax, UTR, national insurance information, and then also using open banking, validate the income that they had previously been receiving, and how that had been affected by the coronavirus outbreak. And the goal was that we would then use that as a way to validate any kind of claim for a government remedy, and that's taken it forward now to conversations with HMRC, HMT, and the FCA to demonstrate how this could be integrated, again with the goal of sort of bringing forward the current June expectation to something a bit more soon, so that we can sort of save a few businesses through giving them the adequate liquidity that they need. It's kind of what we've all been preparing for, right? Like in a sense, a lot of these problems that we're now seeing, if you look at CBILS and the bottleneck that's taking place there, it's because of legacy, it's because of phone calls, it's because of paperwork, and everything that the people on this phone call and elsewhere are doing with open banking and other new technologies is around digitizing that and making it cost effective and better for consumers and faster. And so what we're seeing is a rapid increase in demand for everything to be digital. We've just seen guys like Onfido raising these fantastic investment rounds, and in a time where previously the FCA, for example, has said that now you can do selfie verification, you can do non-wetting signatures on documents, all this sort of stuff. So the acceleration of services that do that in a digital way is just been amped up, and we're using that platform that we've all built in preparation for that to execute solutions that really quickly solve these problems with minds, as Francesco describes, that are in problem solving mode. From our perspective and through what I've seen from the project that we embarked on, was that going through government and going through regulators was that there was a very strong and welcoming reception, and I mean we've always said our regulator, the FCA, has been very, very innovation focused and very supportive, and that has continued to be true over the past few weeks. I mean they've been like very on it in all senses with what's been going on with coronavirus and making adjustments like the ones I mentioned earlier. And I think when we took forward the COVID credit project, there was a very much a how do we get started? When can we do this? For us, it was how do we quickly regulate a new entity to be an open banking provider? How do we test this out? Can we do a really quick regulatory sandbox, whatever is required? And so all of that was offered from day one. And similarly with HMRC, that obviously that they don't set the policy, that they sort of enact it, and so the technical team there were very, very aware of the capabilities that we built and how they could leverage them. So from us, the routes through policymakers and through government were very open, and I know, I'm sure plenty of people on this call have had the same experience. I've been on a ton of calls for the past few weeks where it seems like decisions are being made pretty quickly to make pretty big changes and to involve and use some of this technology as quickly as possible. So from our perspective, it's open banking. I've said it again, but open banking is the the kind of underlying theme here, and this is an absolutely great way to kind of get it in front of people, and we want to be talking about the use case, and I think for us, it's going through government and enabling something that they can provide to people. For others, it might be different.